Round 14 of the 16-round 1984 World Motor Racing Championship is here at Monza, the traditional home of the Italian Grand Prix, just north of Milan. A high-speed circuit, not as fast as it used to be, since 3 chicanes were introduced to slow the cars down on the long, fast stretches, but still a circuit where we've had average speeds during practice of well over 140 miles an hour. With only 3 races left in the World Championship, all the attention is on the battle between the 2 McLaren twins. Niki Lauda currently leading the championship by 1.5 points from Alain Prost. But in practice, once again, it's Nelson Piquet, the Brabham driver, the current reigning world champion, who takes the pole position. Even though he can no longer hope to win the World Championship, he's still hoping to score some late season wins. So Piquet on pole, Alain Prost alongside him, Elio De Angelis in the Lotus and Niki Lauda on the second row, Teo Fabi's Brabham and Keke Rosberg's Williams on the third row, and row 4 Nigel Mansell's Lotus and Patrick Tombé's Renault. 25 cars on the grid because a late non-starter is the German Manfred Winkelhock with the ATS with gearbox failure. At the green light, the 2 Lotuses move very fast, De Angelis and Mansell moving as one, and De Angelis takes a very brief lead before the power of the BMW engine in Nelson Piquet's Brabham pulls it to the front, and in the huge high-speed traffic jam funneling down into the first chicane, it's Piquet's Brabham which leads. Second is Elio De Angelis' Lotus. Alain Prost in the McLaren is third. Patrick Tombé's Renault is fourth. Nigel Mansell is fifth. And Niki Lauda is down in 8th place from a 4th place grid position. So he's made another slow start. At once, Nelson Piquet starts to pull out a healthy lead. Elio De Angelis is still second, but being challenged hard by third man Alain Prost and fourth man Patrick Tombé. Fifth man Nigel Mansell is already being attacked by Teo Fabi in the second Brabham, who goes ahead as they come into the Vialoni curve at the back of the circuit. Also moving up hard is number 27, the Ferrari of Michele Alboreto. Ferraris are always expected to go well on their home ground. On the back straight, on this first lap, Alain Prost effortlessly goes into second place past Elio De Angelis' Lotus. Niki Lauda is also moving up. So at the end of lap 1, the order is Piquet's Brabham in the lead, followed by Alain Prost's McLaren, and Patrick Tombé's Renault is already moving ahead of Elio De Angelis. Teo Fabi and Niki Lauda are next up. Then it's Nigel Mansell and the 2 Alfa Romeos, Alboreto and Keke Rosberg. Lap 2, and Piquet has an enormous moment when his car runs over the grass, coming through the Lesmo curves. But he gathers it all together, keeps it on the road, and carries on as if nothing had happened. But, possibly as a result of that moment, Prost is able to start to close up on him a little bit. De Angelis is under pressure in 4th place, and Niki Lauda is already 6th. So it's a 3-car battle for the lead. Piquet, Prost and Tombé. But Prost's engine blows. After only 4 laps, his race is run and his championship hopes take a severe knock. Today he's not going to score any more points. Next out is René Arnoux' Ferrari, which parks by the side of the back straight. And now Teo Fabi in 3rd place spins his Brabham at one of the chicanes, but he keeps the engine running, and although several of the field go by, he restarts 9th, and this is the start of one of the great drives of the race. De Cesaris blows the engine in his Ligier, laying down a coating of oil on the road. And meanwhile, Teo Fabi moves up past Michele Alboreto's Ferrari. Nigel Mansell spins backwards into the sand at one of the chicanes, and despite his efforts to drive out again, his race is run. The marshals help him out of the car and try to manhandle the car out of the way. Then Nelson Piquet's luck runs out again. Telltale smoke from the back of the Brabham shows that he's had another mechanical failure. This time a radiator has cracked, possibly as a result of that moment when he ran across the curbs on lap 2. And so Patrick Tambay's Renault goes easily past to take the lead. This is turning into a race that is riddled with mechanical failures and retirements. Elio De Angelis in the Lotus is the next one in. And he is quickly out of the car. Meanwhile, Teo Fabi takes second place from Niki Lauda. Lauda is hampered by a very painful back from an old injury. Nelson Piquet makes it back to the pits and walks away from the car without a backward glance. Derek Warwick has a mechanical failure with his Renault and parks it in the sand. And now Niki Lauda, despite his painful back, starts to put on a spurt. Past a back marker who drives onto the grass to keep out of the way, Niki Lauda challenges and takes second place from Teo Fabi. Now Patrick Tambay, the leader, is the only one ahead of him, and setting a new fastest lap at an average of over 141 miles an hour, Lauda out-accelerates the leader out of a chicane, and the McLaren is in front. Tambay tries to hold on, but Fabi is out. He parks his car, losing third place as he does so. Both Brabhams are now out. And then Tambay stops too. He's got a broken throttle linkage. One of the slower cars, Mark Seure's Arrows, which has been running 7th, is the next to halt with a smoking engine. And all of these retirements, to the delight of the Italian crowd, has promoted Michele Alboretto's Ferrari, number 27, into a fine second place. And so Lauda goes on his victorious way. Eddie Cheever, who should be third, parks his Alfa Romeo on the back straight, yet another retirement. And that means that Cheever's own teammate, Riccardo Patrese, will finish third in his Alfa Romeo. Lauda has scored 9 more championship points, and this is going to give him a 10.5 point lead, his 5th Grand Prix victory this year, and McLaren's 10th Grand Prix victory this year, and their 5th on the trot. It's been a record-breaking year for them. So Niki Lauda takes the checkered flag. A nonchalant wave to the cheers of the crowd. Niki Lauda is very popular in Italy, but even more popular is the second place scored by Michele Alboretto in the Ferrari. Riccardo Patrese is third, Stefan Johansson of Sweden is fourth, fifth, but not on the caption, Joe Gartner, the Austrian, and Gerhard Berger, another Austrian, is sixth, ahead of Ghinzani, who is seventh. Lauda, Alboretto, and on the right, Riccardo Patrese get the spoils of victory and spray the champagne. The crowd, as the crowd always is at Monza, is enthusiastic and delighted. And in the championship, 10.5 points is Lauda's lead, but Prost still has a chance of fighting back in the last 2 races left this year. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren have got everything wrapped up.